A man was shot while hiking South Mountain and the bullet hitting both of his legs. Now, he says he was on a marked trail and he believes the bullet came from a private gun range.
So the question is, should hikers be concerned the next time they hit the trails on South Mountain? Fox 10's Jill Monier spoke exclusively with that hiker who was wounded. Jill.
Well, let me set the scene here for you. This is South Mountain Park right here. And the hiker says he was hiking this Max Delta Loop trail and was about in this area when he says he was shot. Now, he says that the bullet came from this private gun club, and I'll show you. It's just north of the trail here. And you can see on this picture that they shoot into these berms that are supposed to buffer any bullets from leaving that area. The hiker says he was not off trail, but some are questioning if he actually was in a restricted area at the time he was shot.
Gunshots can be heard from the South Mountain Trail where 35-year-old Thomas Sawyer says he was shot while hiking in February.
Like you ever have a muscle spasm, that's what it felt like, and then I dropped to the ground. Lifted up my shorts and I thought my hamstring exploded.
Sawyer says he was hiking the Max Delta Loop trail around 10:30 a.m. on a Saturday. He says he didn't immediately realize he was shot.
I was like, I don't know what's wrong. Something's wrong with my legs.
The bullet went all the way through his right leg and lodged in his left leg, but he managed to make his way down the mountain to the ranger station for help.
I think somebody shot him from the range. I mean, it speaks for itself.
There are two gun ranges north of the trail at the base of the mountain. One belongs to the Phoenix Police Academy. The other is a private gun club called the Phoenix Rod and Gun Club. Investigators say no one was shooting at the police academy at the time. According to the police report, detectives believe the bullet that hit Sawyer came from the gun club, as does Sawyer's attorney, Garvey Biggers.
We know for a fact that there was 3 competitions going on. We know that there was all ages shooting that day, from children to adults. So if you have an inexperienced shooter, you can easily lose control of your weapon.
Sawyer's legal team says the range is exactly 540 meters from where Sawyer says he was on the trail.
Is it possible for a bullet to travel that far?
Yes. No doubt about it.
A Phoenix police detective who went to the private gun club that day says it's unknown which firearm discharged the bullet or where the discharge occurred. In a statement, an attorney for the gun club says in part they are investigating. He questions the hiker's location and how a round from the range could have hit him. He cites the police report where Sawyer told them he was hiking in the area of the private gun club and a photo Sawyer sent to the park ranger with a sign that said, "Shooting range, danger, keep out." A park ranger told police he thought Sawyer was hiking in a restricted area.
No, I was not off trail.
Not only does Sawyer deny being off trail, but his attorney says Sawyer's GPS puts him exactly on the trail at the time of the shooting.
The park ranger had asked him where was he, and he sent him a picture of the danger sign so that he could let him know that was the area, and he was on the trail, never really close to that sign, but in that area. And then the park ranger came out and said he was in an unauthorized area.
We hiked the trail and saw that same danger sign with a bullet hole in it as we stood on the marked Max Delta Loop trail.
Hear that gunfire? That's from the gun range below us. They're shooting into berms facing this direction. This is where Sawyer says he was when he was shot on the Max Delta Loop trail. You can see there's a restricted area over there, and there's another restricted area over here. This is the end of the trail.
Police say they didn't find evidence of where Sawyer was shot. However, according to their own police report, Sawyer was shot February 21st, and investigators didn't hike the trail to look for evidence like blood, which could have indicated his location, until February 28th, 7 days after the shooting. The National Weather Service says it rained 3 times that week. Records show police didn't interview Sawyer or collect his clothes for evidence until March 2nd.
Not happy with the way the Phoenix police have handled it, because it feels like they're hiding something, that feels like they're protecting somebody, and it doesn't feel like they're doing the job that they would do for one of their own.
A ballistics expert who we reached out to for the story says ranges must be designed so bullets cannot leave the property. He says if it's possible for a shooter to accidentally elevate his firearm and the bullet leave the range, then it's an unsafe design and should be corrected or closed down. Biggers also isn't happy about the investigation officers did at the gun club that day. According to the police report, an officer spoke with range safety and several unnamed shooters who said nobody was doing anything unsafe and nobody saw anyone on the mountain.
They could have secured the guns, gotten names, gotten serial numbers off of all weapons, gotten rosters, gotten logs of people who had checked in.
Phoenix police wouldn't talk with us on camera, but they said Sawyer's lawyer filed a complaint about the handling of the investigation and that it's been resolved. They also sent a statement saying in part, quote, "What happened to Mr. Sawyer was very unfortunate, and I understand his frustration, especially with his questions unanswered. The case has been pended by the investigator, which means more information is needed to continue at this point." Police say Sawyer is holding some key evidence, the bullet. It's still lodged in his left leg. Doctors were unable to remove it.
I have a hard time walking. I have like a lot of pain on both this leg and this leg right here. I don't know if this is ever going to be the same.
Now, the Max Delta Loop Trail remains open. The director of Phoenix Parks and Recs says there have been no other incidents of people being shot on that trail. Parks and Recs says as long as people are hiking in designated areas, they are safe. Reporting live, Jill Monier, Fox 10 News.